Sometimes life comes, it distracts us. How focused are we? How intentional are we? How much are you saying, I can, I will, I must, I can, you can? Why? Because you're capable, because it's possible. That's why you can. You will, I will. How much are you willing your way through this life? How much will do you possess to get through the adversities, the hard times, the challenges, the ups, the downs, the family issues, the health issues, the financial issues, your job, like how much will do you have when you say, "Hey, I want to get to this other side. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of being at this level. I'm tired of dealing with these things. Like these are like I'm going to will my way through this." How much of that is in you? How much are you exhibiting that on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis? Your will and then your must. Tony Robbins always says we don't get our shoulds, we get our musts. What must you do? If there's something in your life that if you don't do, other people will be the consequence. Like if you don't do certain things, your kids are not going to experience a certain life that you want them to have. Your parents may not. The people around you, right? You may just be letting yourself down, but what are your musts? What must you make happen? Not it's okay, right? It's okay if I get it. It's okay if I don't get it. Whatever God has for me, right? You have some musts, some things that are really important to you. How much are you focused on this stuff? In the beginning, you talked about taking full ownership of your life. That's what this does. When you start taking full ownership of your life, of where you are, of your emotions, of your actions, of what you can do, of what you will do, of what you must do, when you start taking ownership of that, your life changes. I know things have happened to us, but they don't happen to us, they happen for us. And you can take that. You can take that back, and then you can use it to propel you to a new future. But you got to believe these things. One of the things he said in there is about forgiveness. When I was doing some health stuff, some fasting with some of my accountability guys, and one of the things that we threw in there every time we were dealing with health is we would deal with some type of interpersonal problem or some issue with another person. And one of the things on our scorecard would always say, call that person and fix that relationship. Fix one relationship. There are relationships that we have that we don't fix, that we don't go back, we don't forgive, we don't talk. These things have a direct correlation to your happiness, to how you're growing in life. It says here in our text, 177 mental toughness secrets is the great ones learn to forgive. He said average people don't forgive. We sit with a lot of unforgiveness in our heart. Great ones learn how to forgive and let that part go. Stop letting people have power. Stop letting situations, old situations, have power over you. Learning to forgive is something to work on. This is being intentional about the growth that you have in your life. Being intentional about these things. These are, again, success leaves clues. There's only a small amount of things, ladies and gentlemen, we got to learn how to do. We got to practice over and over again in order to become the highest, grandest expression of ourselves, in order to get to that ideal life. Sometimes we don't think these things are big things, but these are the things that hold people back. Here's what it says in this text. It says, professional performers' heightened awareness allows them to forgive freely. While average people plot revenge, champions release their enemies and move on. Didn't E.T. just say that? He literally just said that. While average people plot revenge, champions release their enemies and move on. The amateur approach stems from ego. The professional approach from spirit. So are you operating out of ego? Is that what it is? Because that could be the thing that doesn't allow you to get to the life that you don't need a break from. You might be able to identify it in how you are dealing with people and relationships. It might have nothing to do with your job or your finances or any of those things. It might just be your ego. It says here, the habit of forgiveness is a significant distinction between the masses and the champions. Professional performers understand that mental toughness and power ultimately come from a mindset of love. Love for what they do, who they are, and for the people with whom they interact. I'm going to say that sentence again. Professional performers understand that mental toughness and power ultimately come from a mindset of love. Love for what they do, who they are, and for the people with whom they interact. This is not to be confused with the age of Aquarius and the free love movement of the 60s, although they were probably on the right track in the beginning. All human all human actions and reactions have their root in one of two forms of consciousness, fear or love. If people were primarily logical creatures, this concept wouldn't make sense. Human beings, however, are primarily emotional creatures who often operate in irrational ways. Champions know this, which is the reason they're able to forgive. Emotional creatures who operate at a lower level of conscious awareness tend to say ignorant things and behave in thoughtless ways. Expecting human beings to behave logically all the time is like expecting machines to feel emotion. The great ones operate from a love-based consciousness that recognizes the emotion-based irrational behavior of people. Champions are much more forgiving than average people because of this knowledge. When you are at a higher level of consciousness, when you are thinking about and intentional about learning, growing, changing, becoming, you start to understand how to operate out of a spirit of love versus a spirit of fear, versus a spirit of ego. You start to, again, these things are not always the things we focus on. But the thesis of these calls, if you change your thinking, you change your life. So there's things in your life you want to change. It's going to require you to change how you think about things. It might require you to change how you think about forgiveness. It might require you to change how you think about other people. Like that's actually your journey. You think it's for other people, but it's not. It's for you. It's for you to go from a fear-based consciousness, which has most people where they are, to a love-based consciousness. So it's easier to forgive. It's easier to understand. It's easier to be around people. When you start hearing people, right, I hear it all the time. I'm in a people business. So people are always like, I don't like people. It's hard to deal with people, right? It shows a little bit of their consciousness. It shows a little bit about how they think about things, life, people. They probably have some unforgiveness in their heart. They probably have some things where they haven't gone back to have that conversation or forgive that person or do this is how we grow. Remember, I talked about this a week and a half ago. Life is about who we're becoming. It's not what you get. It's not getting the money, getting the mansion, getting the house, not having to work, having the island. It's about who are you becoming? Are you becoming a better version of yourself? You have to become a better version of yourself in order to have more, to get the things out of life. And this is just one of the points I think was really important that we brought up. Got to learn how to forgive. If you're holding on to some things, you're holding on to some hurts, you're holding on to some things that people might have done, they probably aren't even holding on to it anymore. They forgot about it. But you have it. This might be some of your work. Remember, I'm here to plant some seeds for you. I don't know if this applies to you, but I know in this life, when we deal with people, people are going to hurt us. People are going to disappoint us. People are going to betray us. Like all the things happen with people. Do you have unforgiveness in your heart? Because that might be blocking your blessings. That might be blocking you getting to the life that you deserve. That might be blocking you from, right, really impacting your finances and your community and your health and all the things. You might not have seen that. But that's because a problem can't be solved at the same level of consciousness it was created. So even if you're trying to figure out how to do that and you created that problem, you might need someone to come see like, hey, I think you might have some unforgiveness. You start hearing people talking bad about, hey, I think you might want to evaluate that. Because we need to operate out of a spirit of love, not out of a spirit of fear. And spirit of fear brings a lot of other things. Spirit of love brings forgiveness. It brings growth. It brings you having that community with other people, which ultimately changes who you are so you can get to the life that you want. This is just about being intentional, ladies and gentlemen. This Friday, I just wanted to share this with you because, again, I don't know. But I know that we all deal with similar things on this human experience. We're all going to deal with similar things. We are the people that want to go off and get to our ideal life. The reason you're here is because you want something more of your life. You want to feel more fulfilled, more joy, more happiness. Sure, there might be some material things. Sure, there might be some better relationships. But there's things that you want. So if there's things that you want to go off and do, see, be, all that stuff, we have to start taking accountability for kind of where we are right now. And when we deal in this life, a lot of our hurts, a lot of the things come from other people. And we've not been good about forgiving. We've not really learned what that means and what that is. And for some of you, this might be an unlock to say, you know what, there are a couple people that I really have just been, I need to rehash this conversation. I need to forgive them. I need to, whatever the case is, so that you can move on, so that you can become more. When you start moving from this ego based, this fear based to this love and spirit based consciousness, you grow, you become more, you build the capacity to handle other people. You get the capacity to handle the life that you're asking for. That's all God is building you for, is so that you have the capacity to handle what you're asking for. If you ask to be a multimillionaire, if you ask to be financially free, that comes with dealing with people. You won't find anyone out there that has built financial success. If that's something you're after, you will not find someone that has built financial success that is not good with people, that has not had to deal with people, that does not have a network of people. Like, it's a people thing. And if you're not good with that now, then God knows He can't bless you with all the financial success, because that's going to come with people, family come up, right? Right. Like, once you start having some money, all types of people pop up in your life. Having discernment and having love for people and not judge, right? Like, all these things are super important if financial freedom was in your future, if that's something that you're asking for. Then you probably need to learn how to forgive some people. You probably need to learn how to, right, like deal better out of love. Otherwise, you won't have the capacity to handle all of those blessings. That's why we have to focus on this stuff, y'all. Again, don't know where you are, but I know we all deal with similar human experiences. We all deal with the same type of stuff on varying degrees. And we got to get our people skills together. We got to make sure that internally we're working out of a love-based motivation, love-based consciousness, not fear. This quote from Gandhi says, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attitude of the strong." So this weekend, the seed that I'm planting for you is maybe we need to search our heart for some forgiveness. Maybe we need to search our heart for the people that have done us wrong. Maybe we need to have a conversation with the person. I know it's uncomfortable. I know you haven't talked to them in 5 years. I know you might not like the response. I know you don't think you owe them anything. I get all those things. I get it. I understand. And maybe that's the uncomfortable thing you have to go do to get out of your comfort zone, to start to change who you are, to get to the version of yourself that you're trying to get to. It comes in the small forms. It's not always the big stuff, y'all. Sometimes it's the small things I want y'all to focus on. The action step for today says, make a list of all the people you feel have slighted you to some degree and give yourself the gift of a lifetime by forgiving them. You don't have to tell them you forgive them. Simply forgive them in your heart by coming to terms with the fact that we're all fallible human beings doing the best we can. That is operating out of a love-based consciousness. When you have that understanding and you don't hold that over another person, even if they did you wrong, that's how you know you're changing. That's how you know you're growing. That's how you know you're growing the capacity to handle more. You're going to deal with people in this life. People are going to let you down. People are going to hurt you. You have to learn how to forgive. This is a trait of champions. Average people don't forgive. The masses hold on to grudges. The masses try to get revenge. Like, that's not for the world class. That's not for those that are going off to design their ideal life. That is not a trait of people that are designing their life. And because that's who you are, that's who we are, that's what we're headed towards, you got to start adapting this stuff, yo. I love y'all. I want y'all to win. You deserve it. But you got to work for this. This is the internal work. This is like the nasty stuff, the stuff that, like, we don't always want to peel back the onion and take a look and shine the flashlight in the dark corners of our heart. We don't always want to do that. But I promise you, if you do the hard work now, your life gets easier. When you do the hard work on yourself right now, over time, this is going to be an easier process. It's going to be easier to forgive people. It's going to be easier to love people. It's going to be so much easier to do that because you've worked on some of these small parts. So go out again this weekend. Like always, I tell you, do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Do something that scares you. Do something that challenges you. Do something that your future self is going to thank you for, that you put in the work now so you get that result down the line, that your kids will thank you for, that the people around you are going to be grateful that you put in the work. Do it this weekend. Start this weekend. I'll see you guys back here on Monday. Take care. Love you guys.